welcome to another episode of the InLove with Words podcast, where we work to eliminate the negative stereotypes that are commonly associated with hip hop while paying value and respect to the impact its lyrics have had on society. I am your host, Chris D. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Those of y'all who are coming back on a return visit, as always, man, much thanks for you all popping back in and putting your ears back on this and hearing what I gotta say and allowing me to bring some more points to you and make this connection with hip hop. For those of y'all, if this is your first time ch- uh, tuning in, chiming in. Sorry, stumbling over my words. But if this is your first time tuning in, man, appreciate y'all for coming in. Appreciate y'all for hitting that button and popping me in your ears and taking a chance to hear what it is that I'm bringing to the table, man. Hopefully, it's something that's gonna make y'all want to come back and listen more and more and check out some of the other episodes. But yeah, whoever you are, first time or new time, first time many times. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it that y'all coming through. The topic of today, man, it falls on that right there. Me being thankful for y'all coming in, man, but on a much grander scale. And the topic that we are going through today is the topic of gratitude, the topic of giving thanks, the topic of being appreciative, and what that means in life and how we can get more familiar with it in our life if it isn't already present. So with us going into this new year, this 2023, I felt it only fitting for us to hit it with this topic because that's what we do. The first of the year rolls around, everybody gets in reflective mode. Everybody wants to, make their resolutions and make all these promises to themselves. But I don't know if we look back and see and really look and tap into the growth that we've made not only over the past year but previous years, and how far a lot of us have made it, and I think by finding a way to give gratitude, we definitely are able to tap into that a little bit more and find a way to move forward. So with that being said, the song that we are going through today, man, it comes from a couple of artists that, man, I feel, man, I gotta give them. I go back and forth if they are my number one hip hop duo to ever exist and lay breath on the mic. Y'all have already heard me cover one of my other favorite duos, UGK. Um, but these fellas here that I'm about to go in with, they have been putting it down since the early '90s. Definitely, like I said, in my opinion, one of the greatest hip hop duo storytellers that are out there. Man, the energy and the vibe that they have with each other is just, man. This almost sounds like you're hearing one person rapping because it's so continuous and the flow is just so smooth. How they transition between each other and pass the rhymes off to each other, man. But this group is known as, well, I'm sorry, let me do it correctly. Let me give y'all who they were born as before they even became a group. Because once again, I love to give the real names of these artists so that you can be aware and be reminded that, man, these are real people that's telling real stories, real experiences that they've had, and not just somebody that's been factory made to go in there and just put out some hits. And that's all we cover here, at the In Love with Words podcast. All we cover are artists that give it to you exactly how they experience it, and they keep it 100 with you, and they tell stories that make you think, that make you tap into your own experiences. But these fellas, like I said, are known as, for their mama and their daddies and all them call them, as Mr. Primrose Vanzellaire Smith and Mr. Marlon Jermaine Goodwin. And if you don't know those names, you probably know them better as 8 Ball and MJG. Yeah, these guys, like I said, have been putting it down since I think the first album came out in '91, maybe '90. Um, but the album that we're covering today and the song that we're covering today, uh, maybe number five. I think this is their fifth album. Um, but the title of the album is Space Age Forever. And the song that we're going to be looking into today is off of that album is Thank God. This album came out, man, almost 23 years now because it just made 22 years old. November 21st of 2000 was when this album first hit the streets, and it became uh, I don't even know where to rank it in their albums because all of their albums go through just a different era, different time, and different experiences. So I'm not even finna put a rank to it because many of their albums, even their most recent stuff, are still my favorite albums. But anyway, like I said, 22 years ago, this album, this song, blessed the music, blessed your ears if you've heard it. Like I said, if you haven't heard it, that's why I put the link up for the YouTube video for y'all to go back and listen to this once y'all done with the episode, so y'all can really tap in. Because I know when I go through the lyrics, I'm not giving it justice like actually hearing the artist go through it with the beat and actually hearing the song as they tell the full story. But like I said, with the topic of today being gratitude, it's three things that I really want to make sure that y'all pull out of here and understanding why gratitude is so important. And the first is understanding how having gratitude, being grateful, can create happiness for you. How it can bring that joy into your life. The second thing is how it allows you to put all the negativity that's going on in your life into perspective. Um, this is like that old saying goes: you gotta take the good with the bad. So by showing gratitude and being thankful, it allows you to take the negativity and the bad experiences that you have had and put them into perspective as far as understanding why it happened, what you should have learned from it, what you did learn from it, and then how you're gonna devise a plan to move forward with that. And the third thing I want you all to realize with listening to the song, these lyrics, is I'm a big proponent of energy. The vibe the vibe you have, the vibe you give, and I follow the golden rule. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. So the third thing that I really want you all to focus on when y'all are listening through this podcast is remember what you give out is what you get. The energy that you put out into the world is that energy that's going to come right back to you. So you got to always be in check and in notice of that. Yeah, so as we go into the song, man, he starts it off, 8 Ball that is, and kind of breaks it all down. So I'm going to start with the very first bars of the song, and then we go into this gratitude thing. So he starts off, 8 Ball, and he says, "For my 3 sons, for my mom, for waking me up and breathing air into my lungs, for health and wealth, and a lots of love for myself, the chances in life to take the right steps. I done popped that thing and I done been popped that. Stole, cheated, and lied, survived when I could have died, or somewhere locked up." So, man, that when I first heard it, let me put it to you like this. When I first heard that, I was 19, and a lot of the stuff I was going through, it wasn't, I ain't never shot at nobody or nothing like that. But I have been in some situations where there have been gunshots. And I sat and just hearing that first line, that I think was at the fifth bar, where he was like, "I done popped that thing and I done been popped that, stole, cheated, and lied, survived when I could have died." And I instantly started thinking about a lot of situations I had been in at already a young age. That it's like, man, how am I still here? How am I making it? How did something not happen to me in that situation? And thinking about that, and as this song continued to be played, throughout my lifetimes, I still jam this song to this day. Hence why I picked it for one of these episodes. Thinking of some of the experiences that I had, and I was like, man, I done been in car accidents where the cars flipped over and all types of things, and you just got to sit back and look and be like, man, I'm thankful, man. I'm thankful for the people who were around and supported me during these times, the people who helped me push forward, but most importantly, thankful for God for allowing me to find a way, um, for allowing me to see another day and get out of these situations with, first of all, with the same mind, and then second of all, um, to put me on a path that could lead me away from situations where this might be a repeat occurrence. And like I said, I definitely uh, don't push religion or anything on anybody. You believe what you want to believe. Um, but I really feel like you have to find a way to pay respect, pay thanks to whatever that higher being is that you look up to, because we ain't create ourselves. We ain't we didn't develop mankind, and it's gonna continue to go in this world even once we long gone. So for the time that we here, you got to be thankful for being able to be chosen as one of the people to be here. Like you said, for health and wealth and a lots of love for myself. You got to give that love to yourself, and I think that's what helps go into that first thing that I said gratitude can do for you, which is create that happiness. Because if you sit down and you look and you evaluate, and that, like I said, as this new year comes, I hope everybody is taking time to sit down and really reflect on the experiences that they've had in life, the things that you've had to overcome. Um, Man, I mean, whether you're looking at it through what happened to us a couple of years ago in 2020 with COVID and how you made it out of that, or if you are a survivor of an abusive relationship, or if you got dealt a bad hand in the family that you grew up in, or if you just lost your job, whatever the situation may have been, you are here now. And some of y'all might still be in that situation, but you're here another day to find a way to figure it out and push forward. You're here another day to try and figure out what type of plan that you can push for. And for that that requires gratitude. That is necessary. Um, if you may not be, if you're currently in that situation, you might not feel happy about it right now because you're in it. But the more you allow yourself to pour into yourself and remind yourself that, hey, you still survived, you're still here, let's figure out a way to push through it, it can help lead you to your happiness. Now, another way to get to that happiness is you got to be able to let go of some of the bad things that have happened, some of the bad experiences that you have, so that you can find that gratitude, find that peace, and find a way to move forward and put together a plan, and find that clarity that you need in life. So, a lot of people get stuck in their situations because they haven't really evaluated their way out. They haven't evaluated, or let me not even say that. They may have evaluated their way out, but they are too scared to walk into that greatness, walk into that gratitude, walk into that happiness to see the other side of it, because it seems so familiar. Even though it may be a bad situation, it's all too familiar. So we always are gonna go with familiarity. We always gonna go where our comfort zone is, even though we may be uncomfortable in this zone. But I challenge each and every one of you that regardless of what your situation is, no matter how bad or whatever it may be, to stop and really evaluate and think of some of the good things, because there's always something good that has been given to you and granted and grace towards you, and tap into that so that you can move forward, so that you can center your mind, so that you can find a way out of whatever your situation is, so that you can work on an exit strategy and get closer and closer to your happiness. So always find a way to give that to yourself. Now, MJG comes in, and this is on the last verse. This is on the last verse, and both of them go back and forth on that verse, but this is from MJG when he starts off, and he says, for all the times I thought I was in the worst situation that I can be in, God helped me see in them cloudy times, them I want to get rowdy times. One of them, they tried to bring the devil out of me times. And that goes right back into what I was just talking about. If you in a dark situation, if you in a negative situation, sometimes you got to find a way to center yourself in that and not be pulled into that situation. And that goes to that second thing that I was talking about. What gratitude does, it helps you put the negativity into perspective. So let's take someone that's in an abusive relationship. A lot of the times it's difficult, especially if it's a marriage. Let's say it's in a marriage and they're in that relationship. They may have kids and they are having a hard time making the decision to leave because the abuser may be the one who's financially supporting the family. The abuser may be providing some things that the abused think that they can't go out and get on their own if they leave this relationship. So that's that comfortable side. That's that comfortability that I'm talking about that sometimes allows us to not find a way out of our bad situation. But I also think that if that abused person one day just decides to get up and look at themselves in the mirror and, for one, thank God that they are able to wake up and take a breath into their lungs, like A-Ball said in the very first bar of the song. But two, the kids that they have produced and look into that and look into, the fact that they've created another generation of life. And tap and pour more into whatever other positive things that they do have going on in their life, whether it's a friend that's a good support system for them, or if it's a job or somebody, something that they can seek refuge in, pouring energy into realizing that and being thankful for it. It can allow you to build that courage that you need to say, you know what, I'm going to step out on faith. I'm going to step out and go ahead and make this move and remove myself from this situation so that I can find a way into happiness, so that I can create a better situation for my kids, so that I can create a better situation for myself. So it takes work sometimes to show that gratitude. It's difficult sometimes to show that gratitude because, like I said, we're sometimes surrounded by so much negativity and so much stuff that's out here going against us. But once you find a way to start chipping away at some of the little things that are going good for you in your life, some of the little things that are going positive, then you can start, if you just keep chipping away, like they say, the only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So if that elephant of life is weighing down on you, just chip away at it, at little things every single day. And this might sound crass, or this might sound, insensitive. But even if the thing that you're grateful for, like I said, if you're in that abused relationship, if that's the situation, if it's a day whoever the abuser is comes home and doesn't hit you, be grateful for that one day. Or if they don't hit you as bad as, and like I said, I'm not meaning this to say you just take it, and I'm not trying to say this in a bad way. I'm just trying to give an example here of how you can start chipping away at little pieces of gratitude. But if the abuser comes in and whether it's verbal or physical abuse, does it from morning, lunch, dinner time, and today that person came in and they only got you, they only showed that abuse at lunch and dinner time, be thankful for a calm breakfast morning, and like I said, I'm not trying to minimize anybody who might be out there going through that, because um, I know it's difficult to be in that situation and the mental strain that it can be, to try and find your way out. So I hope y'all, if anybody out here is listening, I hope y'all not taking that example as me trying to be, insensitive to the situation that you may be going through, but I'm trying to shed a light on how even in the worst situation, like MJG said, when he was in the worst situation that he could be in, God helped him see in them cloudy times, them I want to get rowdy times, them one of they tried to bring the devil out of me times. So that's the time when you tap into that gratitude of that higher power and giving that thanks to say, you know what, you did wake me up this morning, and I need to figure out what I can pour back into myself that can help me shift this situation, that can help me remove myself from this situation. So that's all I'm trying to give by that example, So like I said, not trying to, step on anybody's toes out there going through that. But in that line again, like you said, you know, we gotta sometimes sit down and put the negative, like I said earlier, put the negative in perspective. And one thing that stood out with those bars that MJG said, he said, God help me see in them cloudy times, them I want to get rowdy times, one of them they tried to bring the devil out of me times. And man, it takes a strong will. It takes a strong will to sit there and experience something negative and not lose character and not to break focus and to still find some type of positivity, some type of silver lining in it. So if you're able to do that through gratitude, you're halfway there. You're on the road there. So just keep finding a way to push through it, man. Um, and to end this out, the last set of bars. This also comes from MJG, and this goes to that third piece that I was telling you all about, as far as giving out that energy. What you give out is what you get back, and he says in the second verse, he says, and I thank God for giving me my baby daughter, a roof over her head and fresh, clean drinking water. And I thank God for not being afraid to love. So all the love that I get back major love. And I think that's a lot of the times why we get so trapped in situations, is because we're afraid to give love, first of all, to ourselves, man, and say that in some situations, man, we deserve better than what we're getting, and we got to find a way to tap back in and love ourselves, so we can find a way to muscle up and be the phoenix that rises from the ashes, or whatever fire you're going through. But you gotta be able to give that to yourself. And once you find a way to tap in and give that to yourself and continue to give that gratitude and give that thanks, man, you'll start seeing it. You'll start seeing it. And let's go back, and I'm not harping on the abuse, but going back to the earlier example, you start finding ways to pour into yourself. You start, if you're in that type of relationship, defending yourself, or getting yourself up out of that house and going into finding a safe haven or somewhere that you can go that can take care of you, and start giving yourself more concern for self. People around you will see. People around you will see that, and try and extend a lending hand, try and extend, something out to try and support. But you got to continuously give it to yourself. I don't know how you do it, because everybody has to figure out what love for themselves means on their own. So there's no one way to try and find that love and show that love for yourself. But whatever that looks like in your life, you have to find it, because that is key to shifting the energy that's around you, shifting the type of vibe that you have around you, because people are watching, and however you treat yourself, that's how you gonna get treated. If they show you got love and respect for yourself, 9 times out of 10, you go get that love and respect back. But if you got negative self talk going on, or you're talking down on yourself, or you don't think too highly confident of yourself, that's how people go look at you. That's how people go. It's go read in your body language. It's go read in your verbiage and everything that you're saying. That's the energy. That's how you. That's what you're gonna get back. So you gotta find a way to continue to show that gratitude, first to God, or whatever higher power, or whatever it is that you believe in and look up to and pray up to and put faith in. You got to first give that gratitude there, and then give it to yourself, man. Give it to yourself. Tap into yourself and say, you know what? I'm better than this. I'm thankful that I am where I am. I'm thankful that as bad as the situations they were in, that I was in, I've gone through them. And then that's another thing I meant to mention and tap into earlier, is that you got to learn how to stop saying that you took a loss. Nah, that L don't mean loss. That L means a lesson. You got to learn from whatever it is that you're going through. If it's bad, you got to learn how to get yourself up out of it, how to shift, and how to move into a new direction. So don't ever, if you're listening to this from this day forward, for this year, from 23 on until, stop saying you took a loss. You learned a lesson. Because if you flip that, first of all, you're taking yourself out of the negative and putting yourself into a positive, because you ain't lose nothing. You gained something. You gained knowledge. You gained information on how to not respond in a situation, or how to be aware of circumstances that put you in this situation or created a situation. So stop using the word loss. You ain't taking no losses, man. You're learning lessons. So everything that happens to you that doesn't go right, that doesn't go the way it's supposed to go, or is not going the way it's supposed to go, it's not a loss, it's a lesson. Keep that in your head. Keep that in your memory bank as we walk into this new year. But yeah, so I don't know if I have more to give y'all, man. That's the main thing I wanted to tap into today, man. Is just gratitude. Finding a way to express that gratitude and how important it can be for your life. So I hope today's message really gave y'all something that y'all can take away. I feel like at some points through this I was just rambling, but hopefully I got my point across and it was clear and y'all understood it. If not, y'all know I'm still trying to this, man. I'm still early in this. I'm trying to figure this thing out, but I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to put these words in y'all ears, and I'm grateful definitely for those of y'all who are putting your ears to this. So yeah, man, with that being said, man, y'all know how it goes, man. Y'all go and check out the link to go watch the song, listen to the song Thank God from 8 Ball and MJG. Y'all tap in. I'm trying to get better with this marketing thing and pushing this out so more people in the world know that this podcast exists. But for those of y'all who have been tapping in, man, stick with it. Stick with me. Yeah, but I ain't got nothing else, y'all. So much appreciation, much thanks, and until the next time, man, y'all know what it is, man. Y'all be easy. Y'all be cool. Peace.